Welcome back, everybody. We're here at the United Way Podcast Center. Again, we're here with Jordan Larson. Jordan, this is our second visit together, and we're going to follow up on some stuff we talked about in our first session. Jordan is with the Active Healing Center here in Orchid, Santa Maria Valley, and he's been with us. In the first session, we talked a lot about the business model and how it's disrupted, perhaps, the typical business model that we all think of for physical therapy. Today, we're going to dive a little bit into, I'd like you to share a story with us about what it's like when somebody shows up in your shop, because we come in asking certain questions. So when you're doing your community talks, what are the things that you like to share with us? And then we're going to follow up today, new topics focused on the personalized restorative physical therapy that you guys provide, along with red light therapy, massage therapy, and the piece that I like most, Jordan, fitness components, including physical fitness, because to me, the physical therapy is the important part. As we said in the first session, I recovered from knee surgery using your services, but then it became not physical therapy, it became physical fitness training. And that, I think, is where, for me, people need to focus, because we get through these processes and our body is supposed to be okay, but I'm not completely healed. I don't have the strength and stamina that I did before surgery. So I hope we can go into that a good bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So one of the things that we just talked about in the previous podcast was what people think physical therapy is. And so it's not quite what it is at our facility. So one of the questions that people ask when they come in, because it makes perfect sense to me that someone would have hesitancy to start physical therapy. Some people have had experiences where they didn't quite meet their needs, or maybe they're just on the sidelines and they've never had any treatment at all. And so they don't know if what they've got is reversible. It's hard to trust a new, strange person to help them. And so they ask questions based on their safety a lot of times. So one of them is it's just a general question about, what kind of exercises should I do for this? Thinking that there's some YouTube video that they could watch or some answer from the Google about the top 10 tips to get rid of shoulder pain or something like that. So, but if I could have one thing come across, maybe not the one thing, but definitely one of the top three when I'm doing a community talk and talking to people about different things. Sometimes we'll do talks about Parkinson's or balance issues or low back pain or total knee replacement. And everybody wants to know the exercises or the sort of tips and tricks. But the main thing is, if you're having a problem that's been there for a while and it's not getting better, and maybe you've already tried something or maybe you've tried nothing, have someone help you with that. Hope is not a good strategy. And a lot of people are on the sidelines out there waiting for it hoping that when they wake up tomorrow, it will feel better. And so I'm a businessman. I want people to come to my practice, and that's true. But again, my reason for being here is to help people heal. And so even if someone decides not to go to me, that's fine. One of the things that I'm hoping that we can get across is how cool physical therapists really can be. And so getting some help and asking these questions about how they can help me specifically with my age, and all physical therapists can help with that.
And I think that's one of the key components that I found. And again, as we talked about in the first session, I've been through physical therapy a couple times.
Yeah.
Back surgery, hand surgery, elbow surgery, knee surgery a couple of times. And it's always been an issue where it has taken some time to recover. Again, in your shop, it was different. And I felt comfortable, not just because I knew that the person was a professionally trained, certified to do the work, but that there was a very different approach with your professional team.
Yeah.
And I think about a good friend of mine, who had an issue. We won't say what it is, but went to another, not to throw the other location under the bus, but went to another physical therapy center and spent a year and a half. And after a year and a half, still wasn't walking well, right? And so we talked a little bit about, leading into the other treatment modalities that you have, restorative physical therapy being one, but red light therapy and massage therapy. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So recently we rebranded as Active Healing Center. We changed our name, and that was to express that we're more than quote unquote just physical therapy. So we offer absolutely one-on-one restorative physical therapy where you only are with a licensed professional for the entire treatment session. And that's one of the big distinctions physical therapy wise.
Huge.
Yeah, between
Yes.
us. And so one of the reasons that someone might need to go for a year and a half without really feeling like they're making progress is that a lot of times they're spending time with techs. And hey, I was 19, I was a tech. I thought I knew everything. I was working in a PT place. I would show you exercises here and exercises there, but I wasn't a physical therapist. I wasn't a corrective movement specialist. And I could help in a certain number of people, but when we really have something challenging going on, we need someone who knows the deepest root cause of that and has a lot of time and expertise in changing that. So that's the physical therapy piece. That's one that we offer. We also offer massage, and we have certified massage therapists come in, and we train them specifically and we vet them specifically. So it's really more of a healing massage, and it can be targeted, or it can be what I call a foo-foo massage, where it's just that general relaxation.
Oh, that always feels good.
That's what we like. And
Yes.
so that's really what most people do. And then finally, we also have red light therapy. It's a whole body red light therapy bed. You lay on the bed, you absorb the light, and I could go on and on. It decreases inflammation. It decreases arthritis pain, decreases muscle pain. It helps a lot of our clients with aesthetic things. It makes us look better. There's decreased wrinkles. People are telling me about decreased cellulite. So there's a whole wide range of things that can help. And so that's an adjunct to the restorative physical therapy because it helps one's cells heal faster. We have people with total knee replacements jump on there, and it speeds the healing process in pretty magic ways. It's this NASA invented tech that I could go on and on. But that's the second, red light therapy, actually the third. And then finally, this is the one that you hinted at, fitness. So we've identified 4 phases of healing, just about any type of issue, whether it's your shoulder, your back, or whatever. The first phase is get rid of pain and stiffness. The second phase is get strong. The third phase is get back to the fun stuff, whatever that is for you. And the fourth phase is make it permanent, make it stick. And that's where the fitness element comes in. Again, we've done, as physical therapists, a terrible job of marketing ourselves. People don't understand the breadth of fitness knowledge that we have to take you from just 85% better and not in pain to I'm 95, 100% and climbing rock walls like you do. So that knowledge of that fitness is very deep in physical therapists if we have the time to spend with them.
Yeah, I got to tell you, number 3, you said fun.
Fun.
And I'll bet you that 99% of the people listening to this podcast at this moment are going, physical therapy, fun? Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Come on, Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I've been there. And the relationship that I was able to create with my physical therapist, she's my physical therapist,
That's right.
with the physical therapist was special. And there was fun. There was laughter. And God, doesn't laughter improve everything in life?
100%.
I mean, think about if you're walking into when did you last walk into a physical therapy? I'm going to bite my tongue. I'm not going to say that word. A place of business, and you had fun while you were there.
Yeah. Well, and even if the other places are having fun, it's also the fun with that focus.
Yeah. And then, of course, you talked about making it permanent, and that's where this whole physical fitness training piece comes in for me.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about how you incorporate physical fitness training into your methodology.
Absolutely. Well, in the last podcast, we talked about you don't need machines to get fit, but that's a common misperception. Machines were made for bodybuilders to isolate one muscle to pump it up so they look better. But all of the studies show us that functional movements, training with specificity of training in the way that you will actually use your body during the actual thing you want to do is the way to go. So we use body weight. Yeah, we use bands, but it's very specific to what you tell me you want to get back to and what I see that you're capable of at that particular phase, on that particular day, with your particular mood and rest level, et cetera, et cetera. stress levels affect these things. And so when you talk about those relationships, your relationship with the therapist, that nothing is really a better compliment to me than that, because that created trust for you. And when you trust, there's a relaxation, there's an exhale and an openingness to, if that's a word, to start healing.
It is now.
It is now. And so, because without that, we're guarded and we're tight, and then all of those musculoskeletal issues that we see every day have a hard time relaxing without that trust. So that's important.
I'm going to play off of the openingness comment.
Great. I'm never going to live that one down.
It's a cool phrase, right? I like this, openingness. We have to figure out how to incorporate that in our business too, right? Mm-hmm. But we're going to use that to segue into a closingness comment because we got to wrap up this session of the podcast. It's interesting hearing you talk about physical therapy because of my experiences. And I'm sure everybody listening out there who's been through physical therapy is thinking the same thing. It's different. Yeah. How do they get in touch with you at the Active Healing Center?
Well, there's a number of ways. Of course, you can call us. We do offer free 15-minute or more phone consultations. It's usually with me, but it could also be with one of our great physical therapists, so that you can ask those questions. Hey, do you treat what I've got, or whatever you need answered? And it won't just be with a receptionist, although our receptionist is fabulous, but it will be to answer some of those questions. Because again, I understand that hesitancy. Should I come in? Should I do this? Is it worth my time? Is it worth my money? Another way that people can reach us is on our website, and you'll see the little boxes. We do offer a free 30-minute in-person discovery session. And the reason we call it that is that it helps people to come in, get the vibe of our place, physically see it, but also with a brief assessment. There's no treatment involved, but with a brief assessment, you can discover what's gone wrong. We'll tell you right then what needs to happen, and then by whom. And then we leave that up to you. You can decide what it is that you need and where you need to go, but at least it can create some clarity and a lot of times some peace of mind. And that's part of, I'm not going to necessarily call it a community outreach, because it's good for me too. It's good for my business too. I do have clients, but not everybody that comes in needs therapy. Some just needed some clarity, and we can help them with that.
And if that's all it takes, then that's a great service to offer, and everybody can take advantage of that no matter what our situation is. So thank you for sharing that with us, Jordan.
Yeah, my pleasure.
We're going to wrap this session up. Again, thanks to Jordan Larson from the Active Healing Center here in Santa Maria Valley, to our technician, Jacob Martin. Thank you. And again, my name is Eddie Taylor. I am with the United Way. This has been a United Way podcast on the United Way Podcast Center here in Santa Maria Valley. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the next session one more time to wrap it up with Jordan Larson. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you so much, Eddie.